If there were such a person, why would they kill all those people? Why not just kill Easterfield?
Too risky. Especially if the person was someone close to Lord Easterfield. Oh. Well, then perhaps we should question Miss Bridget Conway. I'm sure she'll come up with some answers for us.
No!
You know, Miss Wainfleet, you may be onto something about Gordon and the murders. For some of them must have taken some quite brilliant planning, to say nothing of nerve.
Yes, you do see.
Take Amy, for example. She certainly wouldn't have let Gordon put a needle in her arm.
Oh, but there are other ways to kill a person with heroin. I read up on it afterwards.
Did you? How very thorough of you.
And Bridget, surely it can't have been a simple matter to induce blood poisoning in Dr. Humbleby.
Of course, Gordon could have learned of such things from his visit to the laboratory.
What about Lady Horton? She died long before Gordon went to that laboratory. Are we to believe that he really knew how to poison those grapes himself?
What grapes?
Why, the grapes he sent from his hothouse. You took them to Lydia yourself, didn't you, Bridget?
Yes. So I did. Wasn't aware you knew that, Miss Wainfleet. You must tell me what else you know. Why so silent, Miss Wainfleet? I'm waiting to hear the rest.
I don't know anymore. I don't really know anything. It's all just speculation. Probably quite foolish.
Foolish? Oh, no, you were never foolish. You're quite clever. In fact, maybe almost as clever as the killer.
I don't think you realize what you're saying.
You look foolish enough, all right, proper Miss Wainfleet. In her proper little gloves, you wear them everywhere, don't you?
Bridget, you must stop this.
Why do you walk through the fields in gloves, oh fat white woman whom nobody loves? Where did I hear that? I can't remember, but it fits you perfectly, because nobody does love you, Miss Wainfleet. Nobody does, and nobody ever will.
Please.
You think Gordon did, but you're wrong. You never had him. You never had anyone or anything. Except that cleverness of yours. And that cleverness could get you into trouble. Couldn't it, Miss Wainfleet?
Get Easterfield like everybody else!
I say...
What's it doing to Miss Wainfleet?
She's admitted everything?
Admitted it, yes, miss. And she wouldn't be satisfied till she'd given us every detail.
Yes, it was awful. She was so proud of her cleverness.
I know. I tried to play on that to get a confession out of her, and she was going to tell me. Just before killing me. That was to be your final crime, Gordon, killing me, because I was leaving you. That's why she asked you to meet her in the meadow at midday, I suppose. You'd be found there with my body. And your dagger.
But how on earth did she get hold of my dagger?
Oh, she stole it this morning off the table. It still had your fingerprints on it.
Of course. Her proper little gloves.
Poor Honoria, those rages of hers. Do you know, she once killed her own pet canary. Just because it pecked her. I simply couldn't feel the same about her after that.
Then it was you that broke off the engagement.
I told you how tender-hearted he is. When you reported to me that story about the canary, I knew Miss Wainfleet must be lying to make Gordon look guilty.
Smart girl.
It's really just a matter of knowing a little about human nature, Luke. Perhaps that's why your famous computer couldn't come up with the right answer.
No, don't blame the computer. I didn't program Miss Wainfleet as a suspect.
Oh, don't feel badly about it, Mr. Williams. No, she even took me in. Had me convinced that the Almighty was wreaking vengeance on all my enemies. It isn't altogether a bad theory. But what I don't understand is this. How did my rolls come to be identified as the car that bowled over Miss Fullerton?
Because I had the rolls on Derby Day. That's why I knew it couldn't be you, Gordon.
And you bashed the fender.
Miss Wainfleet knew Miss Fullerton was onto her, so she followed her to London. She saw her chance and pushed Miss Fullerton under a passing car. The driver of the car failed to stop, so she simply gave your license number to a man in the crowd.
But how did she manage all the other murders? Some are obvious, but what about Humblebee, for example?
Now, when Humblebee went to visit her, Miss Wainfleet ran her scissors into his right hand and then insisted on bandaging him. But first, she infected the bandage with discharge from Wonky Poo's ear.
Good Lord. If you'll forgive me.
And the others?
She killed Lydia Horton with garden spray on the grapes, little by little. And then the night that Amy came home from London, Miss Wainfleet brought her a nice cup of tea, loaded with heroin.
Imagine the old witch doing all that just because his lordship jilted her so long ago. All for revenge.
Yes. Her one master passion swallowed up the rest.
Beg your pardon, sir.
Essay on Man, Epistle 2.
Oh, yes.
But it is hard to believe that so much love could turn into so much hate.
Is it? Excuse me. I must go to Horton.
I still like your squad car.
We have returned to the use of the bicycle in the interest of economy, environment, and, if I may say so, sir, efficient policing.
hard at work on his next series of articles. Famous female criminals throughout the ages. He says he's far too busy a man for marriage anyway.
Good. Does that mean you're going with me?
How could I possibly go off with a man who thinks me capable of murder?
And loves you anyway. I guess I just couldn't believe that I could get that lucky. To have what I want. To have you.
Too improbable for you?
Well, at least you know the worst about me. That ought to count for something.
Do I? No more questions, no more curiosities?
All right. Where did you go on Derby Day?
I went to see Johnny.
Johnny? You're kidding. I thought he was no good. I thought he jilted you.
He did. I just wanted to be sure, that's all. I took one look at him and I realized what an idiot I'd been, and I left. I seem to have the habit of choosing the wrong man, haven't I?
Hello, you two. Thought I'd just pop by, make sure you are still alive.
I hope so.
Splendid. Then we've just got time to make the Royal Ascot meeting, if we hurry.
Jimmy, Ascot's not for another week.
Quite. Just enough time for you to work out who's going to win the Gold Cup. Well, are you coming?
Well, are we? Let me rephrase the question. Will you marry me?
There's one thing I think you should know. I made Gordon cut me out of his will.
Now I know the worst about you.